And the field begins to double up as they've given him the 1 to go sign. Getting ready to start the second segment of the NASCAR Toyota All-Star Showdown. A 225 lap feature.
Did y'all point out right after I said the wrong name of the race that it was the wrong name?
No, we did not.
You let that slide?
Yes, let it slide. We thought you did a very amazing job.
Because when I drove off on the golf cart, I thought, I think I just called this the wrong race.
You got Toyota and All-Star right, and that was really enough.
Most of it.
What about the action? These guys battle, don't they?
It is great. From the very drop of the green flag, we're about to see it again. Green flag back in the air. Andrew Myers on the inside. Derek Thorne on the outside. Myers with a good run through 1 and 2.
He may have him
clear him. He does clear Derek Thorne. This is the first time Thorne has trailed in this race.
Don't you love the double foul restarts?
They have made NASCAR racing so much more fun. Phil, could you imagine if they'd have told you a few years ago somebody's going to restart 9th at Martinsville and win the darn race with 2 to go?
And we saw that.
Denny Hamlin did that, so there's no telling what will happen late in the going here because they raced 3 and 4 wide here at Irwindale.
3 wide for second. Now Mayhew to the bottom of the racetrack trying to get by Derek Thorne to hold sole possession of that second position.
He's going to do it, Rick. He's made that move, and look who's right behind him. Greg Pursley, that's the twins. Pursley and Mayhew go everywhere together. Whether they're racing trucks or cars, they wind up running nose to tail, and generally it's close to the front.
Jason Bowles in the 75 on the outside of Pursley now.
Jonathan Gomez, the 22 Steve Wallace side by side for a moment. Remember, Jason Bowles won 3 times in a row here in the West Series.
Andrew Myers now out in front of the field, setting the pace. David Mayhew runs second. Derek Thorne is third. Pursley and Bowles battling for the 4th spot. Bowles has it. Pursley drops back to 5th. As you mentioned, the 22 of Jonathan Gomez holding on to 6th.
They got to jump to the inside.
Battle for the lead coming out of turn number 4. Mayhew sideways. Not able to clear that 77 of Myers.
Michael, we were talking about there's so much racetrack down there in the bottom. It's so inviting, but man, is it hard to make that work.
And yeah, Phil, also, these guys are literally driving these cars through the turns harder than the stars in the Cup Series do. That's the way you have to race these cars. You've got to really load yourself up down in the center of the corner because you don't have any power. That's where you make all your time. So it's really challenging because of all the speed you're carrying through the turn. These guys are literally putting it on the edge every time they get to a corner.
Almost 200 horsepower less than the Cup Series driver, which you talked about. As Andrew Myers continues to try to hold off David Mayhew in that 19. Mayhew once again looks to the inside of Andrew Myers. They go down the backstretch.
Mayhew's going to try to make that bottom work.
What a great battle for the lead.
Andrew Myers is a former winner in the series, but a pretty infrequent competitor now.
Andrew Myers out of Newport Beach, California, our race leader. David Mayhew running second. Derek Thorne, who was so dominant in our first 102 laps, running in the 3rd spot.
Take a look back at Travis Pastrana. Heavy traffic. There's Chad Boat, the 98 to his outside. There's Moses Smith, the 16, running side by side with the 7 of Travis Motley.
I think Travis really likes going to the bottom. His crew said that he was really fast on the bottom, but I tried to warn him before the race started. Those passes are really difficult to complete. You know, you might feel good down there on your own, but darn, as soon as you get to racing, it's really hard to finish a pass like that. So I'm liking the fact that he wants to go there, but then he sees real quickly he needs to adjust and go back to the top. You can see now he's up there trying to make a pass.
He's got Chad Boat working the bottom of the racetrack, trying to get by him in that 98. Moses Smith just in front.
Travis right now being shown in the 19th position.
And that's where he's hovered around. All the way up to 14th, back to 20th, 21st. They came onto pit road, did an adjustment to the right front of that race car to get it cleaned up. Mikey, you've worked with Travis for a couple months now, actually, putting this deal together. What's it like working with Travis?
He's got a heart of gold. You know, he just really is genuine. How many times have you heard a race car driver say, "Excuse me, Mr. Announcer, the coach, my driver coach, was talking to me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, sir. Could you repeat the question, please? But that's him. That's him. If you're in the hauler or whether he's in the race car, he genuinely loves what he's doing. He's so passionate about making this work. He wants to be competitive. He wants to be fast, but he knows the learning curve is going to be huge. He's never lined up against other people before. He just does his thing on his own.
We talked to him yesterday. We know we got a good battle for the lead again with Andrew Myers and David Mayhew. We talked to him about practice yesterday, right after the first practice session. I said, I know you've tested a couple times. Have you ever been around any other cars? He said, that's the first time I've ever been around another car.
Now, what are they all doing out here with me right now? But, you know, I want to tip my hat to Blake Bechtel. He told me a year ago, he said, I'm going to go to Long Beach Marina where Travis Pastrana is going to jump over it, and I'm going to get him to come NASCAR racing. Blake owns Blake and his dad own basically Pastrana Waltrip Racing. We're just partners with them guys in it. And he wanted Travis Pastrana to come racing. A lot of hard work by Ty Norris, the folks at MWR. But Blake was the guy that got the ball rolling, and I'm just real proud to be associated. It feels so cool to be sitting down there signing autographs, and Travis Pastrana is beside you, and that's your driver. How cool is that?
Very cool.
Well, everything he's touched has really turned to gold, and so I'm sure it's got to be great to be associated with him. We're seeing some great side-by-side racing here on the racetrack now. DJ Kennington in the 17 and Steve Wallace in that South Point 66 fighting for position.
Remember I told you I raced at Phoenix? That 17 car is the very car I ran second at the race in Phoenix with. So they just painted it, put 17 on it for DJ. And DJ's a champion of the Canadian Series and certainly a guy that knows how to get it done. And he's going up against a cat that can really roll too in Stephen Wallace. Good battle.
Does it surprise you that Phil has already brought that fact to our attention?
Not at all. And if Ray was here, we'd know what chassis number it was.
That's exactly right.
I don't have the chassis number.
Side by side, continuing to fight for the 7th position, Steve Wallace and DJ Kennington.
What about these two diversely different backgrounds? DJ's been up there and racing in the north, up in Canada.
Way north.
Way north. And then Stephen Wallace, brother or son of NASCAR champion Rusty Wallace, 2 different paths, but here they are on a half-mile track in Southern California racing side by side.
Michael, we have 5 different countries represented in this race here tonight. Brazil, Mexico, Canada, France, and the U.S.
Look at this battle. DJ's wanting that spot bad, but he just can't get rid of Stephen.
And look at the gap in front of them now. That means that this battle now is losing ground with the cars in front of him. That's why DJ would love to clear Stephen.
I think
he's about has him.
Oh.
Has to get out of the gas as they enter 3 and 4, but now he's got him cleared. Up the racetrack, DJ Kennington goes. We'll see if he's able to pull away from Steve Wallace now.
What about Derek Thorne? I bet you he thought this was going to be...
Trying to take second back away from David Mayhew.
After 100 laps, I bet he thought, I got this, baby. And I think he had everybody's attention down on pit road. We heard the other drivers talking about how strong that car was, but Myers made a great start here for the second half of the race. And
Derek showed a lot of patience, too, because he didn't go right back and try to fight and get that back. He rode around here in the 3rd spot. Now, looks like after 25 laps in this segment, he's looking that he sees the gap forming in front of Mayhew. He knows that Myers now is pulling away from Mayhew. He said, well, let me see if I can go chase him down.
Whoa.
Pretty much the whole race, Derek Thorne has been able to choose his line around this racetrack, and now he's being forced to the bottom of the racetrack to try to get by David Mayhew, and it's not working out for him.
Jason Bowles is closing in on the back of these two in that 75 car. He's going to join that battle here. Anytime you run side by side, it doesn't matter how fast you...
Contact. Derek Thorne almost going around, catches it. Mayhew moves out in front of him to hold sole possession of second now. That allows Jason Bowles to pull right up on the rear bumper of Derek Thorne.
You know, Michael, we talk about the ladder system in NASCAR. This division right here is the next step after the weekly racing series. Derek Thorne was here last year, ran the super late model race, caught some eyes, and here he is battling for the second place right now.
And we talked about the car I ran at Phoenixville, and it's the one DJ's in. That's a nationwide car. We literally raced that car in 2010, and now it's here for its 2nd race in the K&N Pro Series. So these guys are getting experience and learning how to drive cars that they aspire to step up to. They're already getting experience in them.
And Michael, nobody knows better of how this ladder system works than you. Ryan Truex won 2 championships in the Pro Series for you, has moved up in the ranks. Martin Truex Jr. ran in the Pro Series, now runs in the Cup Series.
Yeah, those guys are great examples of how this all works. And now we have Brett Moffitt, who's going to drive the 99 car for us in 2000. And the 00 car in 2011, try to win our 3rd straight championship in the K&N Pro Series. So Mike Ricci and those guys, they know how to build a race car to win races and championships. And that's what I think Travis, why he's so comfortable. He knows he's got the equipment to do the job. Now he's just got to figure out how he's going to do it.
That was the battle for second. Now we go to our race leader in the 77. He's getting mired in traffic. A little contact there made by the 42 of Taylor Cusick. So Andrew Myers has got to step lightly as he gets through this lap traffic. Now the battle for second continuing. Derek Thorne doesn't have enough room, gets sideways, and here comes Jason Bowles to try to take third away from him.
That getting sideways may cost him a spot. Jason Bowles is going to try to take advantage of it.
You know, Phil, I've watched that orange car of Mayhew. He's been sideways, too, about every lap. So these guys are really slipping and sliding, but they know it's very, very important to get that track position so that when we have this restart with just 25 to go, you need to be in those first couple of rows if you really want to have a shot at winning this thing.
This has been our longest green flag run of this race, and we're seeing a lot of guys starting to slide around a little more. These tires are heating up.
More so than ever, and that's the good thing about these tires, these bias ply tires. You can really slip them and slide and get all sideways, but yet still make some good progress. These guys have to have tremendous car control to keep the gas on the floorboard while you're turning to the right. You're not supposed to turn right.
Bowles to the inside of David Mayhew.
I think Mayhew's a sitting duck. His car's gone away really bad, and here comes Bowles. Is he going to make the pass?
Heavy traffic now. 2 and 3 wide right in front of them.
Andrew Myers has already worked his way through this traffic. Now second, third, fourth, and fifth all trying to make their way through as well. 3 and 4 wide.
Jason Bowles looks like he may be, didn't quite get the bite off of turn number 4. Now he's in the middle of Andrew Ranger and Cusick in the 42.
Derek Thorne in the 44 trying to get by as well. Contact made.
Got me thinking, how these guys all get over here?
Bowles is going to emerge with a second spot. Derek Thorne now it's also got by Mayhew to take over third.
Mayhew's got a really good car for 25 laps, though, huh, guys?
Yeah.
You know, that's
how long's this last segment?
Exactly.
About 25 laps.
He could just hang on here and keep him some good track position. He might have something for him in that last run.
Andrew Myers in the 77, still out in front of this group.
Just a few moments ago, our leader, Andrew Myers, had to get through that same group of traffic. He didn't necessarily get through there unscathed either. Let's take a look. There's Cusick in the 42.
Right in front of him, Travis Milburn in the 14.
Myers goes to the outside. Cusick, he makes a little bit of contact with Milburn in the 14, gets a little bit sideways.
But he was able to get by these cars, and that's what we saw second through fifth have to battle through as well, as now Andrew Myers has a clean track to work with.
And almost a 2-second lead right now over Jason Bowles, who's running second.
And when you have a 2-second lead and you're faced with heavy traffic, that 2 seconds is your friend. You know, you don't want somebody gnawing right on your back bumper when you're trying to cut through some heavy traffic.
A good long green flag run from here at Toyota Speedway in Irwindale. Myers, Bowles, Thorne, Mayhew, and Kersley, your top 5.